Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening to all IIF members, MMA members. I think being continuous holidays like Amya okay, people who have taken the time, and then first of all, I thank you. Before we get started, I am requesting you to put your mobile in the mute mode so that it not disturb the presenter. And we from IIF Chennai chapter joined with MMA to conduct this management program from last year onwards. And for this tenor, it is our fourth program. And we have a very interesting topic today, MSME, the backbone of Indian economy, by our distinguished speaker, Mr. Suresh Katla, partner in PKC Consulting. And as we all know that MSME contributes almost between 27 to 30% of our GDP growth, and it also catalysts for most of employment. And the key, as far as my knowledge goes, the key strength for the MSMEs are the innovation, agility, and flexibility, which is generally it is not available in the big companies. There are processes, the big cycles. And to start things, I am requesting our chapter chairman, Mr. B.K. Raman, to welcome the gatherings.
Good evening, fellow Foundrymen and MMA members. So every last Saturday of every month, we will be conducting management program supported by MMA. So in that context, today also we are going to talk about MSME, the backbone of Indian economy. I also know only the word MSME. So what it is contributing, how it is working, all those things I also very eagerly know about it. So the same way, you also will be in the same position, I hope. So in that, I welcome all the MMA members, fellow Foundrymen, and our today's speaker, Mr. Suresh Katla. So I request all the members to attend the program fully, so you can raise your doubt or clarification at the end of the program. Sir will be in a position to give full clarification on that. Once again, welcome you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Now I request our council member, Mr. M. Prasad, to introduce the speaker to the audience, please.
So good evening to all present here. Mr. Suresh Katla, a highly accomplished professional with a diverse background in finance, process consulting, and digital transformation. As a chartered accountant and a partner at PKC Consulting, a well-established process consulting firm with over 35 years of industry expertise. Suresh has made significant contributions to numerous organizations across various sectors. With an unwavering passion for management consulting, Suresh has successfully combined with financial acumen with his natural ability to drive positive change within businesses. Having worked on more than 20 projects across different industries, he has consistently delivered exceptional results. Suresh's impressive client list speaks to his expertise and versatility. He has worked with mid to large size family managed businesses, growing startups and multinational corporations, helping them optimize their career and maximize profits. Furthermore, Suresh has evolved into a skilled business coach, empowering entrepreneurs to enhance their leadership skills and unlock their full potential. His guidance has proved invaluable, enabling business owners to achieve their goals and drive long growth. Suresh is also a co-author of the book 20 Game-Changing Retail Strategies, a comprehensive guide that offers innovative approaches to the rapidly evolving retail landscape. Thank you, sir. Floor is yours.
Everyone for inviting me first. So thank you, Mr. Sindhu sir. Thank you, Mr. Vijayaraman sir. And thank you, Prasad sir, for my nice introduction. So today actually, when the topic is given to me, I felt like that's the topic that everybody know. We all of you who are sitting here, most of the people are in MSME industry, and you know in and outs of the industry, right? So there's, I felt intimidated that there's nothing new that I can speak, right? So given that, I wanted to share some insights on the MSME, particularly since as a company and as a professional myself, we work a lot with the MSME, particularly family managed and traditionally run companies. That's what we work with. Starting from my first project, I did about 12 projects on my own, and each client is different on its own, and it has given me a lot of experiences, a lot of unknown problems that the MSME faces, which I wanted to share today. I think since the Mr. Prasad has given the detailed introduction about me, I would like to skip this part. First, I would like to speak about a thing that everybody knows, like even in the introduction speech, it's been mentioned that MSME is a major contributor to the economy, right? So I would like to speak some facts, then get into the topic. First thing is, MSME contributes about 30% of our GDP. It's not a small amount. We are about to become 3 trillion economy, and MSME is contributing 30% of it. It's very big, right? It's, if I have to put some numbers, it would be about out of 48, 30%, it would become some 80 lakh crores, 80 lakh, 90 lakh crores. It's you cannot put zeros to it. It's not, your brain even can't even comprehend it. That's the kind of a sector it is. And next thing is, the MSME contributes 45% of our exports. Okay, that is one thing that many people neglect it. If you combine both of these facts, 30% of GDP and 45% of exports, then you will understand the real impact of the MSME. Any country, not only India, grows. India is a developing country. We have been learning it from at least from a childhood. No, so in order for it to become a developed country, exports is very important. Getting a foreign exchange is very important, and exports is one big way of doing it. Either by of investments or either by way of money that is flowing in. Exports plays a key factor. That's how any country can grow. Like even China, no, it has becoming a power because of the exports it does. And MSME alone is handling 45% of the exports. That means you are getting foreign money inside. You are playing a key role in the development of the company, and all this money gets thrown into the hands of the people, the common people, by the way of salary, which gets spent on services industry, which again adds to the GDP. So MSME indirectly, more than this 30%, which is contributed directly, apart from this 30%, MSME is contributing much more, which is not shown on the paper, but it is there in the back end because of the foreign exchange it is bringing inside. So that is also one thing the MSME has to be proud of. And another thing, all-known fact, MSME is the carrier of the company by way of its employment. If you exclude the agriculture dependent people, of all the working people, MSME holds 40%. So that's a huge share, almost half. Okay. So of these three contributions, but there are certain, we are saying that MSME is mighty, it is very strong, but there are certain things that we neglect to see. Out of all the MSMEs, there are about 99.48% is micro enterprises. What do we call micro enterprises? Any company having a turnover of less than 5 crore, right? So it's a like small company kind of things, where we have about 6.3 crores currently, which is 99.4%, not even 99.4%. And coming to the next part, which is a very small, you cannot even see it on the screen in terms of composition, which is small enterprises, which is about 3.31 lakh. Okay, it is 0.5%. And going to the next level, small is any company having a turnover of 50 crores, starting from 5 to 50 crores. Going to the next level is medium enterprises. Actually data is very obscure on this part. There are about 5,000 to 10,000, not more than that. Medium enterprises are those enterprises which has a turnover of up to 250 crores. Okay, so out of all the thing, so you can see that there is only 0.01% of the companies are medium, right? And there are about large companies. Other than this, there are large companies. I will ask you a question. Out of all these companies in their lifetime, okay, a company can be in its lifetime for 100 years. I've seen a companies which has been serving the country from last 120 years, 130 years, 140 years, even before the independence, right? So there are those countries. These are those companies, and there are companies newly found as well, right? I will ask you a simple question. How many of these companies do you think are becoming large in their lifetime before they get bankrupted or before they get thrown out of this entire picture? How many companies? Any guesses? Anybody in the audience? How many? Number? Here we have numbers. About 6.3 crores in micro, about 3.3 lakhs in small, about 5,000 to 10,000 in this thing. Out of all these enterprises, about 6.3 crores, no? Out of all these companies, do you think how many are becoming large in their lifetime?
1,000 numbers?
No.
Less than hardly, you can ignore the number.
You can ignore the number in the biggest picture, because if I put percentages, no, 0.0001 it will come. If I round it, no, even by default, Microsoft Excel shows 0. That means nothing. There is no data on this. Government is, for some reason, it is hiding that data. So definitely it is less than 100, sir. So less than 100, it's maybe near to 100. That is something we have to ponder upon, right? Why it is happening? Why the companies are not growing into large companies?
Because the micro definition is not correct actually. Micro and medium cannot be combined together, because micro has a different expectation, or their requirement is different, and the medium and small is their requirement is different. That itself classifying under one category is not correct.
I agree with what you are saying to a certain extent, because requirements are different, but whenever government try to introduce some schemes, it introduced for the MSME, which might not fit all the categories in the industry. But
Yes, MSME itself has a large number
yes,
of...
I agree, but my area of expertise is not in the government schemes. I think somebody in the audience has asked me if you are going to speak about government policies and frameworks. I have clearly told that's not my area of expertise, and that everyone can speak. It's public data, but I wanted to share some of insights which I've learned from my firm experience, actually, not from my own experience, but from the firm's overall experience itself. And this is one fact we observe. Like, we understood that.
Can you give some names of smaller, medium companies which grew into big companies?
So
very limited number of the few at least.
Yeah, so there are certain companies, sir. If you say Reliance, it is started as a family managed company, but it has grown into the MNC. It has become an international brand now, right? But my point is, there are not many companies like Reliance. So any company in India has started as a family managed company. They're able to break these constraints, and they are able to become the bigger companies. If I take Forbes 100 list, if I take Forbes magazine, that's one of the popular magazine. They frequently releases top 100 companies in the world. But at any point of time, you take top 100 companies, there will be only 4 to 5 companies from India. And we do not, but it's one of the big country we have. So we have everything. We have resources, we have knowledge, we have skills. Like if I have to take an example, no, Tirupur, our own Tirupur, Namma Tirupur, it produces products for the entire world. You take any products like Nike, Adidas, H&M, Zara. The Tirupur produces products for every brand. So I don't say that we don't have quality. We have quality with us, but we are lacking it somewhere. We do not have, like, all the examples I gave, Zara, H&M, all of these companies are international companies. It's very sad to say that we do not have our own company, to our own brand, international brand that is there everywhere. To give you an example, so that's there. So given this fact, I wanted to show you another statistics which I'm able to pull through. We have micro, small, and medium. This is the government data. Like there has been observation in financial year 22-23. Okay, it has been observed that about 65,140 enterprises out of 6.3 crores that we have become small from micro. Okay. Out of 6.3 crores. So 65,000 are able to become small. And out of, again, 6.3 crore, only 1,000 enterprises are able to become medium. Medium is the company which, even if they touches 50 crore, no, they will be categorized as medium. So somehow they are able to touch that mark. And if I see that medium, from small to medium, there are about 6,474 enterprises that are able to grow from small to medium. Okay. This also clearly shows that previously I spoke about going out of this MSME bracket, but within the MSME bracket itself, there has not been much movement. The small companies, micro companies are not able to become small. Small companies are not able to become medium for some reason. These are numbers, and again negligible if you put it in percentage terms. No. So that is so next thing is why, that is my question actually. Why MSME stay MSME? Why is that? Any thoughts from your side? What do you think? What are the reasons?
Their projections and future options are limited to the scope that they cannot grow.
Okay.
It could be one of the reasons, because the promoters would have visualized, or the brainchild is like that.
So you are saying that promoters' vision is restricting them, or promoters?
The brainchild is only to the extent of MSME. They have not projected themselves to grow.
Yeah, they have not. They do not have a growth vision. I would say so. To simply, I agree with you.
Market viability also.
Yes, yes. So any other points, sir?
Is there any subsidy level MSME is not sufficient or any encouragement?
I would say government support is not sufficient as a overall thing. Government support is not sufficient. And what more?
Shortage of fund
Funding is always a problem of MSME.
and the overall, size of our country economy. We are fifth largest in the world, but then everything gets divided by 1.4 billion
Yes,
mouths. And
that's true.
that ultimately it reduces the chances of availability of fund to the smaller.
Yeah. Funding definitely agree, sir.
Ultimately it translates into
Funding and what else?
The next generation is not taking through.
demand.
That's the beautiful one actually. Family succession is a big problem in the MSME.
Survival is the biggest thing now.
Day-to-day survival.
Why? Because they cannot think beyond that. If that month crosses means he feels very happy.
Awesome. Yes, sir. I agree with you 100%.
And
Technological
Advancement. Technology is not available to the MSME. You have to invest crores to get a technology, whereas large companies can get technology easily, but MSMEs can't afford that. So they remain outdated, and their products also remain outdated. So they can't.
with say Japan or something.
Yeah. So if I compare it with any other country now, so we are still. I would say we have a long way to go. Definitely a long way to go.
China, when you compare with China.
If you compare with China, I don't want to go into the government and these aspects, but I can say that from my understanding, there is a very good amount of technology submersion there, because if a company in industry acquires one knowledge, okay, it is being spread throughout the country so that everybody can make use of that knowledge and can grow. That's how actually China has grown. So any new technology that is coming in, they're somehow able to make it available to all the people so that everybody can use it and grow. And that's partially because of the government, because government controls everything there. And here it is not possible because there are certain rules, and that's why I don't want to go into that area, but you get my point. Yes, sir. So I think I agree with all of your points.
Sir, one more point.
Yeah, sir. Please.
We wanted a job seeker to be changed to the perception of job giver. That is the whole scenario that we wanted. So
Okay.
that's why we see instead of searching for a job, I wanted to give an opportunity to the job. So even the scope is limited. We have too many entrepreneurs coming into the market. That's why the policy itself is a must.
So I partially agree to that fact, sir, because I will also say we do not have enough entrepreneurs for a country of our size. So we do not have enough entrepreneurs. So job providers coming into the picture definitely should help. There are certain companies, right? Like you take, I don't want to speak about valuation game, but there are some startups. Like you take Carrot Line. So Carrot Line is acquired by Tanishq for almost about 8,000 crores, right? It has grown in a span of 1.5 years to 2 years to become a large. So that happened. It happened because of a new entrant. Somebody has come in and they are able to do that. But MSM is being in the company. All the companies that I work with are in the industry for at least 30 years, right? They have the knowledge with them. They are hardworking. Nobody works harder than any MSME guy. I see. Even yesterday I was with one client in Coimbatore. He is telling me that he is to open his gate, the factory gate by himself, and you know how much electricity reading that comes on a monthly basis, how many units he consumes. He knows everything, and none of the bigger companies, I think there are no people that are that kind of motivated, but still they are able to make it big, and MSME is not able to make it big.
The main problem of MSME who is not growing into the next level.
Yeah.
The entrepreneur himself controls everything.
You gave another point to me.
Probably the bigger companies are pushing the MSMEs down. They're not allowing them.
I don't agree to that fact, sir, because we do not have that kind of congestion. We have opportunity, definitely. So MSMEs definitely have opportunity to grow. And what are the bigger companies I speak? No, they are not on the delivery side. They are very weak in supply chain. Now every company that's coming up is more of a marketing company. It's not of a product company at all. Like take Zomato, Swiggy, any company. If there is no restaurant, there is no Zomato. That's the kind of scenario. You take any big company, they're all dependent on MSMEs now. So MSMEs definitely have a scope to grow, In certain cases, they have like competition is there, price war is there, all of these things are there, but still I feel like MSMEs definitely can grow.
Okay, you say this antitrust law that encourages the smaller companies. You know, and it discourages the bigger companies in monopolizing and in that way preventing the development of the smaller companies.
Yeah, for many of the
antitrust law is not that strong enough.
Actually, it is not strong enough because we are not at that stage yet. It need not to be strong enough. We have that enough room to play. It's like how if there is a cricket ground and there are 4 people only in the ground. That's the kind of scenario. If there are 100 people in the ground, then I will put some barricades, something to categorize the people and control them. There are only 3 people, let them play. That's the kind of scenario we are in. Because the numbers itself says no, we are a big company and the numbers are still very low.
How about the manpower part? Is the manpower available sufficiently?
No, that is going to be a big problem actually, definitely, because I would speak about more of that thing. I'll also share some of the insights that I get in that area. That definitely
China was, in the last 45, 50 years, they were wonders, no doubt.
Yes.
It's a different model.
That's completely different model, and here the kind of problems we are facing is also completely different. I would say any company, usually there are 2 ways of growth. A company can become industrial, then it can become service-based country. Like for example, how USA is there. It is not USA, how China is there. It is more manufacturing and industrial heavy country. Okay, China. But we are not manufacturing and industrial heavy country yet. We are more of a service-based company. It's like retail works here, entertainment works here, but manufacturing won't work here. That's the kind of scenario it is.
Possibly manufacturing has been neglected.
Neglected, definitely neglected.
Is that one of the reasons why this MSME development is not taking place?
Absolutely, because that again come to the...
Excuse me, sir. I think let us allow speaker to go through his presentation.
Yeah, fine.
All the queries can be raised.
I wanted to, actually, why I'm asking...
When he put us particular question, we try to answer for that query so that it can flow and go.
I would be happy to take all of your questions at the end of the presentation as well, sir. But anyway, I see the participation that is coming in. It is encouraging me to go forward actually. I wanted to make this session engaging. I wanted to have questions, understand actually. So let me see. I will share a quote actually. Some of you have answered this. And this is the particular line that has come in one of the MSME conferences conducted by Economic Times. They have told their entire focus, there means MSME. MSME entire focus is on making sure the business remains float. That means business is running, day-to-day operations are happening. That is their focus. Rather than spending time to grow the ecosystem. They're not even thinking about growing. Somebody highlighted it in the audience. And somebody also highlighted, yeah, you added it, sir. So somebody also highlighted that running day-to-day operations is difficult. So we are all on safe path, we know what the problem is, right? So surprisingly, but we are not trying to solve it. This cycle definitely has to break for MSMEs to grow. I can say that hundreds of reasons are there, sir. But there will always be reasons that we can control. There will always be reasons that we cannot control. Because, for example, government support. Government support is something that you can try for it, but it is not entirely in our hands. But there are many things that are in our hands, but we choose to neglect them. So those are the things that we should focus on, is what my thought is. I would like to speak more on that part. What we have observed at PKC, like PKC since PKC in its 35 years of experience, we entirely work with MSMEs only. I think I would say we have about 1500 plus clients. I think only about 10-15 only are large companies. Rest of the companies are all MSME category, and particularly family managed and traditional companies. I just wanted to understand how many of these, I assume that all of you are part of the MSME, right? Anybody large, anybody have turnover more than 50 crores here?
Sure,
yeah, you have. Anybody else here, sir? Yeah. So what we have observed is there are certain, I want to keep it to the 3 points only. There are many things, but I want to speak about the things that we can control as a person, as a founder, as an entrepreneur. Those are the things that we can control. I want to speak on those aspects alone. And what we have observed is I wanted to restrict it to 3 only, because you will remember these 3, you will try to implement these 3. That's my objective of coming here. So whatever I say, you get to remember it. If I say 5-6 points, no, you won't remember it. But if I say 3 points, you will remember it. That's I'm sure. So I wanted to stick to the 3 only. First thing is, first thing that we observed in MSME is owner gets everything done. That's a big problem. Anything that happens in the company, owner directly or indirectly gets it done. Right? If he is not there on the operations floor, we cannot guarantee the same quality, we cannot guarantee the same customer service to the customer. Right? So many questions, it's like a pack of cards. It can fall at any time. That's the kind of scenario. That's one thing we observed across the MSME. And another thing is no growth vision. Somebody highlighted it. They do not have a vision. There is no vision to grow at all. Why it's happening? It's because of the circumstance they are in. Since they are on the operations all the time, handling, firefighting with the people, firefighting with the customers, they do not have time to think. I don't know, many people I know in the MSME, it's better to be I get a feeling that it's better to be an employee rather than an employer. Right? It's not easy. They spend about 12 to 14 hours working for the company, but that's the kind of situation it is now. So, and they're firefighting all the time. So there is no growth or vision, no action. At least some people have a growth. Some people have a vision. I want to achieve this in next 2 years, 3 years, but they don't act on it because they are caught up in the operations. Many people do not have a vision itself. That is another observations. Another thing is lack of financial discipline. Coming to the funding part, sir. I've seen many companies who started well off with their own funds, but because of the fund mismanagement, without understanding their capacity, taking more orders than they should take, doing like they don't understand what's happening with their finances, so they take wrong decisions. The wrong decisions after some point of time, they don't get to know that they have taken a wrong decision, and by the time they get to know that, it's already out of hand. That's the kind of scenario. And all of the, like if you take a survey of sick companies that are there in the country, many people tell that it's not because of the market process they have become sick. It's because of their internal doing. Only they have become sick. I would say their fair share amount, at least half of the companies will say that it's an internal problem, that's why they have become sick. So these are the 3 broad level observations. I also wanted to speak on what you can do. Okay, these are very obvious, all of you know, but since we are gathered here, it's like restating that these are the things that every founder, every entrepreneur in the MSME has to do. Like first thing is, to solve the problem of owner gets everything, so we need to delegate. You need to learn how to delegate. Okay, this is something we preach at PKC. People say that if I am not there, work won't happen. At the same time, they're not willing to delegate because they are so scared. Even I myself am struggling to get things done. If I give it to somebody else and they don't take responsibility for it, what can I do? So that's the kind of, they lack confidence basically. Okay, and that confidence comes if you do the second thing. You have to build processes and systems like any company, like how I've taken an example of Reliance. Do you think Reliance, this Ambani family sits on the operations every day? No. But how they are able to do it? Any company you take example, like you take Tata, you take Infosys, you take like Apple itself. No, Apple started in a garage, they say. It's the world's most valued company now. It started in a garage, it started as a family. But how they're able to scale? Because they focused on the process and systems. Why I'm saying no, it is nothing that you don't know. Everything is decided already. If you're running a company, you have seen all the problems that they can come. Okay. Like operationally, everything you know, like if material comes short, what you have to do, you know. If material comes excess, what you have to do, you don't know. You negotiated for one price. If customer is giving an another price, you know what you have to do. All these things are, all these questions are already answered, right? But only thing is all these answers are in our brain. None of it is known to your team. So what happens? Everything comes to you. Everything falls to you. So you have to build these systems and processes so that your team gets empowered. And again, speaking to the third aspect, you have to build strong next level management. You have to have a strong team under you who takes care of the operations, so you can come out of the operations and focus on the growth. You speak only about the growth. And coming to the previous point again, so first point, making sure the business remains afloat. That point will be done by your team, so that you will do the second one. Okay, and this can be done by the owner only. No one can do this. But whereas the first thing can be done by owner also, it can be done by employees as well. But second part only owner can do. And companies have grown to an extent where employees itself are doing second thing. That's next level. I don't want to. That's too far of a vision now. But my point is, like, once you come out of the operations, you get a lot of ideas. You get a lot of ideas to grow, you get a lot of ideas to build the ecosystem, like you will get a lot of ideas to procure the items at lower cost, you get a lot of ideas to manage our funds, but the thing is you won't get out of the operations. That's one thing we have seen. So I want you to practice, try to build these 3 systems, try to delegate, because I will also tell another money value of time. Okay, every person has a different money value of time. Okay, you are sitting 30 minutes here, that means you are losing the 30 minutes and your value is completely different from another person sitting here. Okay, and at any point of time, being an entrepreneur of a company, you have more money value of our time than any other person in the company. Okay, so you doing the work, other person doing the work is always a benefit to you. That you have to understand. So that will also give you financial angle to it. And going to the next thing, growth vision or no action taken, I am giving us very simple things. My only thing is you have to practice it. You have to start following it. And if you might say that like, there are 100 problems, it's easy to say but not very easy to follow, but you have to start doing it is the thing. I'll always tell my clients, in order for you to grow, first you should know what you are going to do. Okay, if you do not have it on the paper, that means it is not there yet. So you do not have a plan. If you do not have it on the paper, you do not have a plan, because when you start writing it on the paper, you get more clarity, whether it can be done, it cannot be done, you think more, so it gets perfected when you start putting it on the paper. So previously I used to say 5 years, now 5 years is very uncertain, just plan for the next 2 years. What is it that you are going to do in the next 2 years? My company is at this turnover now, I want to take it to the next turnover, that's fine. Sorry, I think this one slide is missing here, that's fine. So what you want to get it done in the next 2 years, list it down, both on the perspective. Then the next step is, once you list it down, like you have multiple functions in our company, you have your procurement team, you have your accounts team, you have your inventory team, you have your sales team. What are their roles to get to this objective? Because you have this goal, whether they know that this goal, because I'm speaking about building second level management as well. So you try to define to them, like this is what you have to achieve, and give them 1 or 2 points that they have to focus on. Okay, so assign the accountability to them, like these are the things that I'm expecting from you, from the second level, so that they are clear and they also put in their efforts. Okay, and you can also incentivize them if they're able to achieve it. So that is another thing. I think one slide is missing here, but no problem, I'll speak on now that the slide is missing there. I'll speak on the third aspect as well, lack of financial discipline here. How many of you know your actual P&L? How much profit you make? Any of you know here that how much profit you make, exact profit you make? And how many people? You know?
You track.
So exact, do you think it's accurate or finger calculations? It's accurate, great. And this is one big problem. I think MSMEs particularly, they do not have a discipline of tracking their P&L monthly. Every month you have to sit on your P&L. That should be your first job when the month is starting. From tomorrow it's in October, right? By October 5th, 6th, you need to have your P&L ready and you have to sit on it. That's definitely it has to happen. If it doesn't happen, because that's where the entire picture of your company comes to you. If something is not going on the track, you'll come to know at that point of time. But it won't happen. It happens usually at the end of the year. That's when you sit for tax. You want to pay tax, you sit during September or maybe August, September time you sit. Already 1 year has been passed and you're already into 8 months into another year. That's when you sit on the previous year statement. That's when you come to know this is the profit I made and I have to pay this much tax. That's where you come to know. But instead of that practice, you build a practice of doing it monthly. You sit on the P&L. And another important thing is sitting on the cash flows. That is the first point in the final discipline. And second point is the cash flow. Cash flow, what actually happens is, we know that we are making profit. I have seen many people saying me that, I know I am making profit, but I am not seeing money. Anybody, how many people felt here?
Everybody.
Everybody, no. So that's the picture, because you do not have systems to tell you that where your money going. Cash flow will give you that power. Cash flow will tell you from where you are getting the money and where you are putting that money. So you have to have a practice of, I think, I know all of you might be having a auditor with you, right? They will help you get this done, right? What are the points I'm telling you now? It's not so straightforward, I will understand, but there are people who can help you get these things done. All the financial aspects, you can sit with your auditor. You can understand what are the kind of changes that you can do in your company so that you get your monthly P&L, monthly cash flow. And they'll also teach you what are the things that you have to do. You have to learn from them, all these things. But the crux is you have to sit on it monthly. Diligently you have to sit on it monthly. When you sit first month, data might not be correct. Might be getting only approximate figures only. That's fine. But if you sit on it daily, your accounting manager will become more diligent because you are sitting in it daily. He'll become more prepared. Before you are highlighting a problem, he'll start highlighting the problem. So this problem is there. This is the thing that I'm working towards it. That's
micro, this thing, the person, the owner may not be all that dedicated. So that is the limitation.
Which one? Sorry.
In a small enterprise, the owner may not be that much literate to carry out all these things.
Yeah, so that's what, sir. There are people that you already work with who know these things. Like even the smallest company also will have an auditor, right? You can. Only thing is you have to go and ask. So they will be able to teach you. There are people already who can teach you, and there are associations like IIF who are teaching continuously, and you can put in efforts to learn these things. These are the basic minimum things I'm saying. Every founder should know how to manage their finances. It's not like that. You need not know the accounting concepts and all. That's very too in depth. Your accounting guy will know, but you should know what is my revenue, what is my cost, what is my profit. 4-5 headings. At the GP level, there is revenue. There is your procurement, material cost is there, labor cost is there, and all the direct electricity or these costs are there. Then you will get GP. What are these costs? Then after that, indirect cost, 5 headings will be there usually. Administration is there, employee cost is there. Maybe transport, repair and maintenance will come as a 3rd heading. So there are 5 headings that are there. Legal expenses and consultants fees are there, and there are inadmissible costs which are tax, all these things. So once you have this habit of seeing these figures daily, you get an idea. And only thing is this practice itself is not there. And you will figure it out. Once you start doing it, you will figure it out. That's what I'm saying. And I confidently will say, many projects we have done now, like if I have to give you an example, the project which has been closed in the last week, okay, it's a retail company. It's a very small company. They are doing a turnover of 10 crores. Okay, they are having a stock of 4 crores. Okay, it's a retail company, retail apparel company. We haven't done anything. We sold them the stock, nothing else. This is the stock you are having. This is the aging of the stock. These are the sections you are having the stock. This is the report we started submitting to them every month, and within a span of 4 months, their stock has gone down by 1 crore. From 4 crores, they are able to bring it to 3 crores. We haven't done anything. We just stored the data. And who has done it? Because when you see the data, you will know, okay, this is where I'm unnecessarily buying it. I already have stock here. Why should I buy it? That's what the basic questions. No. The only thing is the practice is not there. If you don't see the data, you don't get an idea. You are caught up in many things. And third thing in the, I spoke you about P&L and I spoke you about cash flow. And third important thing in financial discipline is you also have to understand what is your ROI that is coming in. Okay. And also particularly I've seen many people that take debts. Like you have a OD, CC, you take it for granted. Okay. So everywhere you are spending OD, you have to have a separate concentration there. Because the debt is what kills the company at the end of the day. Okay. You have to, there are companies which utilize the debt in a profitable way. There are companies which utilize debt in a wrong way also. Just because you have the money, you overstock everything. You don't get. You always think that you do not have money in our disposal. So OD, CC, don't utilize it at all. That's very important thing. But my thing is don't utilize. When I say it's like you have to know how important it is. In a regular operations, there is no OD. And another thing that I wanted to highlight is making reserves is important. Reserves as in like again it will link to the goals. You have to know how much money you need and how much you are withdrawing. Many companies have seen they keep their entire money in the company only. They don't make proper withdrawal. Dividend is very important. You have to take your own money out. You have to build your personal wealth also, in addition to the company wealth. So that transparency has to be there. This much money I am earning here. This much money I am going to keep in the company. This much money I am taking out of the company. Okay. And your own financials will run separately, and your company financials will run separately. And you have to have that visibility with you. And coming to the company funds also, you have to know, okay, this much money I am parking it for this new project. This much money I am parking it for this particular, I want to increase my capacity, so I am parking it. And I also encourage you to park some money for the development of the company itself, for the learning and development of the company. Like, to answer your question, sir, I always recommend people to put aside like 1% of your revenue on the learning aspect alone. So that will definitely get you to the next level. And these are the points I wanted to share. I think all the points I've given are simple and that's things that you can remember, so that it will help you a little bit, because I can't put you on a rocket to send you to the moon like how ISRO did it. Simply, but say small action can definitely give you bigger results. You have to be on the track. You have to be on that path. So that's what I believe in. And these are the things that the first whenever I meet a client, these are the things that I will teach them, so that they'll start implementing it. Implementation is key. And I know that whatever the things I've spoken, all of you know. I don't think anybody don't know any of these concepts. All of you know, but the practice is what's lacking. And I encourage you to do it more. Actually, I encourage you to participate in my session at MMA. So we are going to speak on these aspects in more depth. So it's a one-day program. So that is the program that I developed to preach these aspects, some of these aspects. So I think that will also help you. Yeah, I think I'm done with my presentation, sir. Thank you. I'm open to questions. Have I taken more time? Or?
So now you can throw your questions, sir. I'll spend about 10 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Discover the problems.
No, not only problems, sir. I've given some solutions also. Please.
But the things are not happening in our country as NBC. Supposing there are some guidance bureaus to motivate people to go for, to systematize their approach to their business so that they can grow.
Yeah.
Is it possible? Is any guidance bureau there? Only, of course, banks are there to offer funds, which also whether they do, we don't know. So only when somebody goes there for a loan, one really knows the ground reality.
Now, to guide the people, no, sir, there are multiple avenues. Professionally, to guide the companies, there are many consulting companies. Actually, we are also a consulting company. That's what we do at PKC. In the PKC, we have tax audit, which is a chartered accountant practice, and we have a consulting practice. And the whole consulting is focused on this thing only. Like building this discipline for MSMEs. That's what we do at PKC. And there are many companies like this. To start with, it also depends on your budget. It's like, I don't say that you have to go to consultant always, right? You also have many associations. Maybe you can drop your card to me. I'll share some of the associations that are available, which you can utilize to grow your knowledge. But those will be like to the limited level only. They don't handle you, but they'll teach you the concepts, which you can implement it by yourselves. But when it comes to the professionals, they'll handle you. And one more thing is, choosing a right partner is also important. Like choosing a right audit partner, or it's like choosing a right supplier. No, having a right guidance also is very important at all times. Having a right guidance is definitely important. Yeah, that I don't want to speak more on that.
The total MSME number. Better registration and higher registration, can it help?
Which registration, sir? MSME registration, you are saying? MSME registration.
Probably, it refers to more to the micro enterprises than the smaller and the medium ones.
Your numbers might be wrong. That is there, but no, I don't.
It's very poor. Registration is very poor.
Registration is very poor, but I think there are a lot of benefits that are given to the MSME currently, which are encouraging the companies to register. Right, like for example, the one rule that payment protection that MSME is offering now, it has made many companies to register. Like whoever is supplying to large and MNCs, no, all of them are registered. Because even the suppliers, your customers have started asking you MSME certificate to get registered themselves. These are the things that are happening. We are on the right track, I would say.
Mandatory rule that
And I definitely encourage you to register for the MSME.
When you are looking into the balance sheet or the P&L account, is there any thumb rule how much debt equity ratio or current ratio to be there? Is there any thumb rule like that?
So there are thumb rules definitely, but
for a healthy financial.
Yeah, sir. There are thumb rules, but it will change for the industry to industry. Yeah. But I would speak very generally. Current ratio should be about 2. It should be minimum 2, definitely. And ROI is again depending upon industry to industry, it will vary very high. You have to choose how much you can operate it actually. And expenses, no, expenses you can, for example, it would, if you go by, that's what I don't want you to go by approximation, because what happens is your number can be saying 32, but industry average can be 30, and you think that you are not, I'm just nearby my number only, you will think, but the 2% makes, the 2% that you reduce there adds to your margin, and over the years it gets accumulated in reserves, which you can use to start a new plant itself. So I would say instead of benchmarking it against the industry, you set your own targets. There is a concept called Kaizen. Okay, it's a very simple concept, very simple concept. Like for example, we have a factory manager. Okay, whatever the costs that are happening in the factory manager, you list it to him and you ask him to reduce it by 10 rupees every month. That's the kind of concept it is. Small improvements every day. That's the concept of Kaizen. They said, I'm giving 10 rupees as an example only. But you're telling that these are the costs that are happening on a paper, or these are the costs that are happening on. My target is to reduce it by maybe 2% every month. Just 2% only, not more than that. 2%, 1%. This itself will push them reduce cost to extent. And at one point of time, you'll come to know that nothing further can be reduced because they're trying, but they are not able to reduce. And you have to incentivize definitely to people who can do it.
Question from me. Of course, India is trying to become a $5 trillion economy by 2030. Tamil Nadu is also trying to by $1 trillion economy. On population side, India compares well with China. Okay. That is most populated countries in the world. But whatever China did, except for the political side, can we copy, learn from China how they did and then implement it here? Can you throw some light on that?
That's very.
What was the difference in their approach and what, so that they went up, whereas we have not gone up so well.
No, that's very broad question, sir. Very difficult to answer that question because we are very culturally diverse. India is a diverse country. China is not so diverse country. It's unified country, and government plays a bigger role. Government, if they say something, their people follows it. Here, if government says something, each state will come up with new problem. GST implementation itself, it's been pending almost for 20 years, right? It's not implemented in overnight. But if China choose to implement GST, they can do it in a year. But we cannot do it in a year. And there is one more, speaking from our aspect, there is one more code called DTC, Direct Tax Code. It is still in paper only. It has not been implemented and it's not so easy to implement. These things very difficult to answer. But if you ask me, can we learn? Definitely we can learn. There are certain things that we can learn, but it's very subjective, I would say.
Population is not a constraint ultimately. If China can do, we can also do.
We can also do.
The right,
yes.
Ecosystem.
Yeah, we say we are diverse. That becomes certain problem at certain times. So we are not unified. Like that's why I would say each state has its own separate government and each state has its separate growth path. So Tamil Nadu is much better, comparatively. Everybody will agree. Tamil Nadu is much better. If you take my state, like my yeah, but somewhat better. But if you take between the states like Karnataka, if you see Bangalore is more developed, but there has not been development in other areas much. It is more centralized kind of scenario, and that's what struggled AP Telangana as well, right? The development has been more focused on Hyderabad, and when the state got split, AP struggling with the deficits now. So that is there. So every state has its own approach, and being the central is not able to unify them in some cases. So we have to improve on that area.
I have a question.
Yeah.
It's slightly different from this thing. We are doing costing for our product. When we do the costing, we always calculate our expenses. What is our expenses? And add our margin and give a pricing to the customer. That is the way we do costing. But at the end of the day, there is one more taxation at the end of the day. That is income tax. It is significant, 30%. So should we give a provision? Will we do the costing for the income tax, or otherwise what we are practicing right now?
Yeah. So this question can be answered in two ways, sir. When for the product pricing, okay, if you consider income tax, your product automatically will become pricey.
Yeah.
You cannot beat the competition. So product pricing is always done based on the competition. Right? How much competition is giving, how much you can give. That's how the calculation will happen. But if you have a chance, like if you can offer definitely better than competition means, you have to consider tax. Tax impact is always has to be considered, no doubt about it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, income tax is going to be applied for everybody.
Yeah.
The competition.
Yeah, that's what.
So nobody considers that income tax as a cost.
No, I would give you a different view. When you see margin, no, you are saying that I need 5% margin or I need 10% margin. It is before tax or after tax, you have to ask yourself. That way it's better to see. So if it is before tax, 10% is before tax, after tax is going to be less only, it's going to be 7%. Okay, so if I want more return, instead of saying that I will add tax to my cost, you say that I will go for more margin. Both are same only. So that's easy to understand that way. I think we are already past the time.
Any questions, sir?
Being so patient. I hope this session is useful to you all. And great. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Sir, unga question ku, there is a concept called EBIT and PAT. This very interesting subject, EBIT and PAT. That we have to decide. It's not a thing. Okay. Thanks for, and we come to the end of the session. And now to facilitate our dynamic speaker, Mr. Suresh Katla, now I request our Mr. K. Varadarajan, sir, IIF Chennai chapter past chairman, to facilitate him the Angavastram and Memento. Thank you, sir. ஆக்சுவலாக அந்த டாபிக் கொடுத்தவொடனே எனக்கு கொஞ்சம் கன்ஃபியூஷனாக தான் இருந்தால் சொன்ன மாதிரி பேக் போன் ஆஃப் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும், பட் என்ன பேச போகிறாருன்றது we are not aware. It touched upon, see, basically businessல வந்து there are two subjects. One is the domain knowledge, which IIF is famous for industries. We give the domain knowledge expertise. This is the business process management, which is touched upon. I think there are a lot of these topics are going, but only thing is we need to spend time and then understand. The businessல there are something called struggle, survival, scale, lot of scales are there. He's touched upon very things, and he has given all basic levels which is to be implemented. As he rightly said, implementation is the key, and everywhere we are ourselves, including saying that we don't have time. That's what we end of the day we are to be blamed. Okay, I would like to thank the speaker for having spending his time from his busy schedule, and thank you, sir. Thanks for a wonderful session. And I also would like to thank members having spent your time in a busy schedule and make this session memorable. And we from Chennai chapter regularly conduct this kind of seminars and webinars. We request you to participate and give us encouragement. And we also have a Chennai chapter YouTube channel. All our programs are uploaded, and we request you to subscribe and see the channels. And I once again thank for everyone participating in this program.